Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee. In this show, we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I am back. That's right. Last week, I didn't do any shows. Kind of been lagging on my episodes, I know, but last week, there wasn't a lot of news because it was the week after Comic-Con, so, news isn't a lot happening going on the week after that. Also, I did not finish watching The Boys until Friday, so, I didn't want to talk about it until I finished it, but the main reason being is that my mom was in town visiting, so I was entertaining, and like I say, this is kind of last on my priorities list in my life, so if I don't do a show, it's because it means I'm busy doing other stuff, and life is happening, as I say. But I'm back, and man, I am exhausted. I had a long day so far today. I went swimming with my daughter, had some massive good pizza over at Double Dave's. I love going to Double Dave's for lunch buffet. It's great. But then I took my daughter over to Urban Air Adventure Park in New Braunfels, and we have a subscription so we can go whenever we want. I think it's really great exercise for myself and for my daughter, but man, trampolines, obstacle courses, rock wall, we were there for like 2 hours. I came back and I just crashed. Came home, I couldn't even move, literally. Between the swimming and the adventure park, I was dead. So I crashed on the couch, watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, now on Netflix, and had to make myself a cup of coffee to gain the energy to do this episode because a lot of stuff came out, especially today, that I want to talk about. So instead of me just babbling on, let's get right into it. All right, so before I get to stuff, I want to talk about The Boys. That's right, the Amazon show came out last Friday, or was it Thursday? Either way, it came out. It's been out for over a week now, and I finished it a couple days ago, based off the comic book series, and I got to say I really enjoyed it. Now, it's been probably a couple years since I've read The Boys. I think I read like the first 2 volumes of it, and I enjoyed the premise. I thought it was really cool. But, I didn't finish beyond that. So really, I get the general sense of it, but I couldn't tell you any plot details of this comic book. So, I went in pretty blind, I feel like, going into this one. But honestly, I super enjoyed it. It was just a kind of, hard take on the superhero genre. All the actors were great. And really what held it together was that relationship between Huey and Starlight, and what they were going through, both with their loss of innocence on both sides. And again, that's one of the things I really liked was they showed not only the sides of the boys or the humans, but also showing the side of the Supes and, what their life is like and what they're going through. Man, Homelander, what an asshole there. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. That episode 4, the plane scene, I tweeted about it as soon as I watched it. It was hard to watch. Definitely hard to watch, but honestly, I can't say that I really disliked anything about this show because for the most part, it was pretty on point, in my opinion. And that last scene there, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Again, I don't know the books very well because I read them a while ago and I haven't read a lot of them. So, where it's going to go or where it could go, I'm very interested to see what happens next. I did enjoy, though, Patty Spivot as Mrs. Butcher. The actress who played Patty Spivot in Season 2 of The Flash on the CW, who I really liked, and, in my opinion, I think was a great fit for Barry. She was super hot. She plays Butcher's wife in this one, and turns out she's not dead. And she had some kind of a relationship with Homelander, and we never got definitive proof whether it was consensual or not consensual. So I'm looking forward to, seeing how that's all going to play out. But it's interesting, of course, because you have Homelander, and he's the type of character where he's like that Superman type character who really doesn't have there's no kryptonite, there's no way to stop him. So people are just in constant fear of him. And the one thing Butcher thought would stop him, or what he feared losing, turns out wasn't it, because he fried Elizabeth Shue's eyeballs out and killed her. It's pretty interesting, honestly. But I love all the characters. That's the thing. I love all the characters, from Frenchie to Mother's Milk. to the Deep and to A Train. They all just, with the 8 episodes, you gave them time to each have their moment, to get inside their heads, and to almost sympathize with them a little bit. Besides Homelander, I think. I mean, he's the only one I really see as a true villain. A Train, of course, I think, very villainous. But the rest of them, I can see everyone's point of view and why they were doing what they were doing. So in that sense, I love TV versus movies. You get more time with the characters, more in depth of them, and I think it was the right call turning this into a series rather than a movie. But I really enjoyed it. I really did, guys. Of course, there's tags on, the 7 being that, they're pretty much the Justice League. You have Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and they're making all the jokes about these characters as well. Black Noir, I don't know, is he supposed to be like a Batman character? Because he really didn't come into play too much. And of course, I don't know, again, much about the comics, so I'm interested to see him play more into season 2, seeing what happens to the characters, because pretty much the boys are on the run at this point. And of course, I want to see what happens with Homelander, Butcher, and the child that was allegedly lost. But it was interesting, guys. So fire back. Let me know what you think about The Boys on Amazon. I really liked it. I can't wait for season 2. Let me know what you think. Alright, guys, next up, I want to talk some trailers that came out today. First off, we got a new trailer for the upcoming Amazon Prime series, Carnival Row. Now, this one stars Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne as 2 characters in a not-so-ordinary world. The series description is as follows. Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne star in Carnival Row, a Victorian fantasy world filled with mythological immigrant creatures. Feared by humans, they are forbidden to live, love, or fly with freedom. But even in darkness, hope lives as a human detective and a fairy rekindle a dangerous affair. The city's uneasy peace collapses when a string of murders reveals a monster no one could imagine. So, we've been hearing about this one for a while. They kind of teased it at Comic-Con a little bit. And it's, they got that sci-fi fantasy slant where you have mystical creatures coming into America or, into the real world at a time when in actual real world, we were getting a flood of immigrants into this country. So you can definitely say we're going to get comparisons towards immigration, probably both past and present, and the way these immigrants are treated. I've never been a big fan of Orlando Bloom. Of course, he did a good job in that first Pirates film. He played his part fine as Legolas in the Lord of the Rings films, but beyond that, I never saw him as a good actor. Cara Delevingne, I think she's cute, she's hot, but again, she's one of those people that I didn't think have a great acting ability. However, that one that she was in that bombed really bad, Valerian, what it was, I thought she did a good job in that. Her co-star, though, probably miscast, in my opinion, but that's, more details later on. I could talk more about that, but this does interest me, of course. It's got that fantasy slant, so it is up my wheelhouse. Given that good drama, it's all about the characters. Pull me in with some good characters in a good setting with a good story, and, it's got me hooked. So with this, I don't think it's anything we haven't seen in previous trailers, anything new that we didn't know already about the show. It's coming soon. When does it come out? August 30th, actually. So at the end of the month, it's going to be on Amazon. I'm going to check it out. Let me know if you guys are going to check it out as well. Hit me up, of course, on Facebook and Twitter, not to mention, of course, Dayspring Discussions at gmail.com. Now, I am actually going to skip over the other trailer that came out today just for a sec, because the 3 other stories I want to talk about are all DC related. So I figured I would do the other non-DC thing, get it out of the way. That way I can just stay in the DC realm. So it was announced yesterday as official, Andy Serkis is directing Sony's Venom sequel. It was, according to the Hollywood Reporter, confirmed by Andy Serkis. So he's going to be directing Tom Hardy in the Venom sequel. The Venom film came out last year, made $856 million. It was a success for Sony and kind of opened up their Spider-Man shared universe without Spider-Man. It's kind of what happened. Now, myself personally, I didn't like Venom. In fact, I thought it was a waste of talent and space in theaters, in my opinion. So, sorry. If you liked it, great. That's fine. More power to people that like that movie, but I thought it was absolutely dreadful. And, I have no desire to see another Venom film, let alone waste talents like Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams on a Venom film that has nothing to do with Spider-Man. Because the most interesting thing about Venom is his relationship with Spider-Man, much like how, the Joker film's coming up. And I think the most interesting thing about Joker is his relationship to Batman. So take that with what you will and debate me later. That's fine. I love a good discussion. Anyway, Andy Serkis coming to direct. Here's what it kind of breaks down to, guys, is that Andy Serkis, while the master of motion capture in films such as Lord of the Rings and War of the Planet of the Apes, other things, he's also a really good actor too. I mean, obviously, if you've seen him in the Marvel films, in Black Panther, he's a good actor really too. But as far as directing, he's really only directed one movie, which is Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. Now, the thing about this film is it went directly to Netflix. I thought about watching it, but I never got around to it. Honestly, it looked like a more serious take on the Jungle Book storyline. I get that. The problem with it was it came out too close to Jon Favreau's Jungle Book. So where, if it came out, it was just going to be compared to the Disney version, and they didn't want that, so they probably just threw it on Netflix. I haven't heard great things about it, though, too, which is, again, why I'm not a big desire or a big rush to go watch it. But that's all he's directed. Now, I think he did a couple of pickup things on, it was either the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit films, if memory serves correct. So he does have, a lot of talent, a lot of experience in front of the camera, as well as a little experience behind the camera. Directing the Venom film, I mean, Venom is a CGI character, so helping him improve, definitely you could have the voice and opinion and experience of someone like Andy Serkis there to help out. Couldn't be a bad thing. So yeah, it's yay or nay in my opinion. But really, again, it comes down to I don't want to see a Venom 2. That's just me. I don't want to see Spider-Man Venoms without Spider-Man because again, it's the relationships between the hero and the villain that are the most interesting in my eyes. So that's neither here nor there, especially the fact that they're talking about they're going to bring Carnage in, and they had that little tease with Woody Harrelson. It was a mid-credit scene, I believe, and God, oh man, I still have nightmares about his hair. Ugh. Okay, anyway, but yes, Andy Serkis directing a Venom film. Okay, up there, worst people you could get to direct a Venom 2. However, I don't want to see a Venom 2 because I don't like Venom. But you know what? If you do, that's great. So fire back, of course, on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let's talk about this some more, and I will destroy anyone who defends that film. Just kidding. I love you all. All right, so like I said, the other three things I want to talk about today are DC related. So let's get to the trailer that came out today, Titans Season 2. That's right, Season 2 for the DC Universe show. It's going to premiere September 6th on DC Universe, which is my wedding anniversary, my 10-year wedding anniversary. So I'll probably have some plans. That weekend, me and my wife are actually going away on a little trip to Fredericksburg, but that's not till I think, that is Friday night is when we're planning on going. So whether I will have time to actually watch it that day, probably. Whether I have to secretly watch it, probably. But my wife doesn't listen to this podcast, so she won't know anyway. But anyway, I enjoyed Titan Season 1. I remember when they showed previews for it and I saw production photos, people were really ragging on it for how it looked. And even that first episode, I really didn't enjoy. But as the series went on, I think it got better and better, found its footing a little more, especially that Jason Todd episode really is what hooked me. The characters, I'm a big fan of the character of Dick Grayson, always been one of my favorite DC characters. So the fact that he was the lead in a time where he's a very transitional character, having left Batman and, trying to figure out who he is beyond Robin, I think is very interesting. I think it's something they're definitely going to explore more in this season. But we got a trailer. It was only a minute long, too, but we got a lot of stuff. So let's start off with who we saw in this trailer. First off, Bruce Wayne, Batman himself. That's right. We did have the Game of Thrones alumni Ian Glenn is going to be playing Bruce Wayne in season 2 of Titans. It'll be interesting to see, the dynamic between him and Dick, as well as the fact that we know Jason Todd is coming back, especially with his little "Titans are back, baby," and that little tag in there too. So we'll definitely see him. Probably the most interesting thing to me was the fact that we're getting, looks like the original Titans. You got Wonder Girl, who we saw last season, Donna Troy in her outfit, and then you got the addition of Aqualad, Garth, who's going to be in there. I like what they did with his outfit, where in the original comic books he had like a red long sleeve shirt and blue shorts. The way they've kind of made it look a little cool, in my opinion, looks I like the way they did that. And there's this shot here, of course, with Hawk and Dove and the three of them. I think we're going to be bouncing back to the present a little bit, maybe get an idea of exactly what happened, why they don't hang out anymore, perhaps. Could be something of interest, but exploring that more I think will be really cool. Now, of course, also we got the post-credit scene at the end of first season 1 of Superboy and Crypto. The actor who is playing him, Joshua Orpin, I don't know who he is, but I love me some Superboy, some Connor Kent, some Con-El, whatever you want to call him. Don't blow it, I guess is what I would say about that. Crypto, of course, is going to be there. Now, of course, we also have the Wilson family in there. At the very end, we got our shot about Deathstroke. We also saw Rose Wilson as well as Jericho, who in the comics has special powers and is a bit of a touchy subject when it comes to Titans, given that he was killed and Deathstroke blames the Titans or teenage heroes for the death of his son. But Rose Wilson as well, I think she's an interesting character. I remember reading her during Jeff Johns' run of Teen Titans, which is really my cup of tea when it comes to Titans. She was an interesting character, so it'll be fun to see her thrown into the mix with all that. Now, the Titans, of course, that we're missing, we're getting Wonder Girl back, we're getting Aqualad back, but of course, Speedy and Kid Flash, not in there. Now, they're being used pretty heavily in another DC television universe, so I understand that. But the fact that we're getting Deathstroke in here, I don't know what the idea is with Deathstroke, because I know Manu Bennett, who played Deathstroke in the Arrowverse, was talking about, how Warner Brothers, was thinking about putting him in the movies, so they had to take him away in the Arrowverse, but then they decided not to, so they brought him back. And now you see him in this one as well, which he looks menacing as hell, man. I love the way he looks in this trailer. I think it's really cool. And Deathstroke has really been a main villain for the Titans. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to throw him into the mix. Now, the last cameo that I kind of noticed was possibly Alpha Centurion. I'm not sure. There's a shot there at the end where Jason's fighting somebody, and looks like he's got some tech to him, possibly some New God stuff going on there. That could be very interesting. Maybe it's Dr. Light. I don't know. But, it was a minute-long trailer, and it went very, very quickly. So, I went back and tried to, see every shot to make sure I didn't miss something. But in any event, I enjoyed Titan Season 1. I'm looking forward to Season 2. But Season 2 ended with Trigon kind of having everyone in his trap, I guess you would say. So you got to think the first episode is going to be them taking on him. And you saw Raven, of course, with her new little jewel inside her mind, which, if I remember correctly, is where she keeps her father to, keep him closed in and trapped so he doesn't cause any trouble. So, that possibly is what they're going to come into play. Again, I don't know. I don't care. I'm excited for Titans Season 2. Let me know if you are. Let me know if you saw the trailer. And, of course, fire back. Let me know what you think. All right, guys. Next up in the world of DC, today, Batman Hush, the animated movie, came out on Blu-ray. If you haven't checked it out, go pick it up or check it out on Redbox. You can do that. I watched it a week or so ago online at some obscure website. So you can hear all my thoughts about that there. Now, also they came out yesterday with a new featurette on the next DC animated film, much like they usually do. It's going to be Wonder Woman, guys. Wonder Woman Bloodlines is the next one. Now, this one seems to center around Wonder Woman and kind of a little bit of origins. However, it is going to be still set in this shared animated universe that started off with Justice League War or Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, depending on how you think about it. But anyway, Rosario Dawson is coming back to voice Wonder Woman again. You got Jeffrey Donovan as Steve Trevor, as well as a barrage of Wonder Woman's Rogues Gallery, Silver Swan, Dr. Poison, Cheetah. I mean, just a bunch of her characters. I mean, I'm not a big Wonder Woman guy, honestly. The only really Wonder Woman storyline I've read all the way through was the new 52 one by Starwitz. What's his name? Michael Starwitz. I don't want to look it up, and I'm too lazy to pronounce it right. So, sorry. Anyway, but I did enjoy that mainly because it mixed very much with Greek mythology, which I'm a fan of, tied her directly into that with the gods like Zeus, Hades, Hermes, stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that storyline. Really haven't been keeping up with Wonder Woman, since Rebirth, so to speak. But again, I enjoyed New 52. So anyway, I like that this is still sticking with the same continuity. I mean, Batman's gotten several animated movies in this timeline. You just had two centered around Superman with Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman. So now it's time for let the other member of the Trinity shine a little bit with Wonder Woman Bloodlines. You're going to get a little bit of origin, maybe bring it up a little bit to current status. I'm not seeing anyone as far as like other Justice League members that are going to be guest starring voice talent wise. So, we might not see actually some of the other leaguers pop up, but that's all right. That's okay, because the other one I'm looking forward to is Justice League, Darkseid War or Apocalypse War, based off Darkseid War, which I've read, I've loved, and I'm actually planning on reading it this weekend again when we go to the beach for Corpus Christi for a little getaway. So looking forward to that one. I'm not interested in another Wonder Woman origin story. And just like I'm not interested in another Batman origin story, I'm glad they didn't try to redo that in the animated world. That's fine by me. So I think, you want to have flashbacks of her origin, that's fine, but don't give me the whole movie. Give me most of it in modern scope. I think that's how I'm going to enjoy it the most. This one's also directed by Justin Copeland and Sam Liu. Now, Justin Copeland's been working on the DC animated stuff for a while now. Not as a director, but mainly art department. This is fine. But Sam Liu, this guy, he is like the man of the DC animated movies. He directed Reign of Superman, Death of Superman, Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, Judas Contract. He's awesome, pretty much, is what it is. So the fact that he's on board, helping out with this, I am totally on board for that. So Wonder Woman Bloodlines coming our way, guys. What do you think about it? And let me know what else you're excited for when it comes to DC animation, man. All right, and the last piece of news I've got for today, guys. Is anyone else getting excited for Crisis on Infinite Earths? Because I am getting more and more excited given what they've got. Of course, at Comic-Con, they announced Braden Roth is not only going to be playing the Atom, he's also going to be playing some version of Kingdom Come Superman from an alternate reality. Awesome! Then you got Kevin Conroy, who voiced Batman, who has been voicing Batman for like 2 decades plus. Of course, his main stuff is Batman the Animated Series. He's going to be in it as an older Bruce Wayne. Sounds awesome. To me, maybe they're hinting at a possible, Batman Beyond scenario where, Batman's older. Of course, he voiced an older Batman in Batman Beyond. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But anyway, taking a nod to him, you got Burt Ward in there, the original Robin from the Adam West 60s Batman. Not sure who he's going to play in there as well. And then there's been rumors of CW and Warner Brothers trying to get other DC alumni into the mix. There was rumor going on yesterday that you had, Michael Rosenbaum possibly. Then you're talking about Diggle, an alternate reality Green Lantern. Even someone told me Mark Hamill Joker. Those are unconfirmed. Michael Rosenbaum, even on Twitter, said, this is the first I've heard about it. So that's not going. That's why, you got to check your sources, guys. My buddy sent me a link, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Let's figure out what it is. Unless it comes from one of the major trades and the actor is talking about it on Twitter, I really don't trust it so much. But anyway, the other thing we learned yesterday was the air dates for this whole crossover. And what's interesting is it's not only going to go from beginning of December through mid-January, also Legends of Tomorrow is going to be in it, which originally they didn't announce, and also they announced that Black Lightning is going to be in it. How much he's going to be in it, I don't know, but the 5-part crossover now is going to take place starting December 8th with Supergirl. Then you got Batwoman and Flash. Then we're jumping over to 2020, where Arrow on January 14th, possibly the last episode of Arrow, I think. And then DC's Legends Tomorrow later that night as well is going to wrap it all up. And guys, this is awesome. I mean, okay, so let's start it. First off, I was talking about in an earlier episode where Legends wasn't going to be a part of it. And I thought that was disappointing because Legends Tomorrow, despite how you feel about them, they deal with, time traveling and alternate realities every week. So to not put them in something where you're dealing with multiverses seemed a little odd to me. So I'm glad they're going to be in it. Black Lightning, great. I've been waiting for them to bring him into the fold, to bring him into the CW Arrowverse. That's awesome. I love they're doing that. And then, of course, you got this time frame here where it's spread out over a month. Now, obviously, The Flash is going to leave you on a cliffhanger, okay? And then you're going to have to wait almost a full month to see what happens. We're going to go on Christmas break. It's going to be the talk of your holiday vacation, hopefully, and then we're going to come back and wrap it all up. I'm excited for this, guys. I'm more excited. I talked about it on Twitter. I think I'm more excited to see the behind-the-scenes photos once they actually start filming everything. I want to see that because I remember last year with Elseworlds when you saw the picture of John Wesley Shipp in his original Flash outfit. That got me super excited. Of course, I'm hoping they're going to bring him back for that with this. And again, I think I want to see it. I want to see them cross-pollinate with other shows. Give me Smallville. Give me Lois and Clark. Hell, give me even Gotham. Give me these alternate shows that maybe have some connection to, the DC universe. That would be very interesting, in my opinion. Or if anything, just pay homage. The fact that they're bringing in Burt Ward and Kevin Conroy back, these, staples of DC actors in the pantheon of DC shows and movies. I think it's great. I think it's great, and I'm getting excited for this. Of course, given the fact that how the seasons ended, how we know that something's going to happen with Barry in the Crisis, how we know something's going to happen with Oliver in the Crisis. It's just one of the things. The way it's coming together, I'm excited. However, I don't want to get too excited because I was super excited about Elseworlds last year. That was a bit of a disappointment. Crisis on Earth X, hands down, the best crossover they've done out of the, 4 or 5 crossovers they've done. I mean, they had the first one where it was just Flash and Arrow, which was meh. Then they had the one where they introduced pretty much Legends of Tomorrow with Hawkman and Hawkgirl. That was so-so. Crisis on Earth X was awesome. And then you had last year, you had Elseworlds. Oh, yeah, and the Invasion one as well, too. That was okay. But, it's been an up and down slope when it comes to the crossovers, from my opinion. But, Crisis on Earth X, huge storyline in the comic books. And what it did in the comics was you had a bunch of, comics and realities, and it cleaned everything up and basically hit the reset button. Kind of almost one of the first reboots that DC Comics did. Now they do them all the time, but cleaned everything up, put everybody in one universe, and I would love it if that's what it did. If you take Black Lightning, put him in the same world as Flash, I would love it. It'd be awesome. But we'll wait and see what happens, guys. Let me know what you think about any of the Crisis on Infinite Earths news, okay? If you hear anything, of course, that is solid, post it up on the Twitter page or Facebook group, of course. Let me know about it. Well, we'll talk about it, discuss it, and we'll see how excited we are when December 8th actually comes around. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. It's getting late. My voice is going to crack. And, of course, I got to start getting my daughter ready for bed. But fire back on any of the topics I have discussed here today. Of course, I will try to do another show on Thursday if there's enough news and I have enough time to do it. Otherwise, you know what? Go out, enjoy some stuff. If you haven't watched The Boys, go watch The Boys. It's good stuff, man. I really, really like it. Okay. But that's it, guys. Go out, enjoy your week, and remember, may the Force be with us all.